We're supposed to do task force report outs this morning. Was with the task force topics that we talked about yesterday, we came up with continuing with research and communication, and somebody had come up to me and said, well, you know what, it might be worthwhile to ask the crowd if there is any research that people are really interested in doing now, so that we can maybe pass that on to the national group and maybe start working on that. So let me grab my notebook, but does anybody have any ideas of things that they really need to be researched or thoughts about that?
I have mentioned this before within our agency, but in the pavement management system, when we are trying to model how the pavements deteriorate with time, the different treatments, there's a reset that happens. So it's not like it just resets to zero. It depends on the treatment. And then how long does it stay at that condition before it starts to deteriorate like normal? So just how does the treatment reset per different types of treatments, especially those lighter surface treatments? How do you model that? That should be researched, I think, if nobody's already doing that.
I completely agree, and actually I proposed research within WashDOT a few years ago. We ended up not doing it, mainly because I didn't have a pavement management administrator, but I completely agree with you. We've been doing these preservation treatments, and we don't actually do anything on our curves. We just bump it out a few years and then watch it, which has been a struggle because, you know, you have to watch each individual one, but you're right. You know, how much does a chip seal jump it up, or a slurry seal, or micro, or, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, how much does it jump up, and then how does that deteriorate over time as well? I completely agree with you. That's a great one.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right? Because there's no real good way to measure it, especially if you're doing distress ratings and cracking. We use vendors. Our vendors are still rating that crack even though it's a ghost. It's not really a crack, but you can still see it in the image. They still rate it as a crack. So, to be quite honest, the percent cracking really doesn't change. And the reality is just, I've got so tired of trying to do that reset thing that I switched to a remaining life approach and just bump up that life. And the standard life I do is I just extend that life 5 years on a remaining life scale. And then eventually, if there is deterioration, and you see it in the cracking, then you can use that cracking model. So it's first just use that remaining life model and then switch to the cracking model when distress pops through.
Hi, I just wanted to bring up the research that we're doing at NCAD. So we've been doing a lot of that. For cracking, it may be a little trickier, but we've done it in terms of IRI, and we look at the performance jump and then the deterioration rates and how long it takes to get to a certain threshold and difference between treated and untreated. So there's several publications that we have, and they're on our website, and feel free to contact me if you want more information.
One of the things that we do currently before we did strategic preservation, we rated patching as a negative. On the 0 to 100 scale, it was a minus 45. So the best PSC, PCI, whatever you want to call it, was a 55. Well, now we're saying patches is good. So how do we make that change? And we know that if we put a patch in and we compact it, it's going to last for 5 or 6 years minimum, is what we're typically seeing. So, you know, we have some different things to think about on how we're building those curves and rating those conditions, for sure.
It was mentioned at the breakfast table this morning, but just a standard for checking the cracking from those annual pavement condition surveys, the automated kind, because the ground truth, it's like subjective, and so it'd be great to have like a standard that everybody follows, and it's very obvious that is the amount of cracking and whatnot.
Well, like I was saying, Robert Young, New Mexico DOT, like I was saying yesterday, we use OGFC on all our roads, all our state roads. And in the north, we use regular OGFC or sometimes warm mix OGFC. But in the south, the districts prefer rubberized OGFC. And then we have, our OGFC's polymer modified statewide, but the idea of using rubberized OGFC in the South is that it holds up better in warmer weather. And that's the idea, and that's what everybody thinks, but I've never seen any study to verify that. And it'd be good to know for sure, if rubberized OGFC will hold up better in hot weather.
Thank you. I think that is a interesting one there to be researched for sure.
Yeah, Maria, I just wanted to comment that there's a pooled fund, TPF 5 299/399, that is tackling that cracking stuff, and that's probably the group that's been working on that the most. So I don't know if you're part of that, but if your state is a part of that, it'd be great if you want to be involved with that, because they always could use that input. As far as research ideas, I'm a pavement management person, so I really don't. It's not my world to think about this stuff, but EPDs are. And that's affecting the paving industry. What I am curious about is whether there's already work being done to show that the crack seal work, the chip seal work, the preservation work that we do, we sort of know it's environmentally friendly, but there's probably a huge opportunity there. Well, I don't know if the stuff Jarm Harvey is working on or not, but that is, I think, at least in our state, it would probably rise to the top, I kid you not.
We talked a little bit about the FHWA Climate Challenge, I think 2 days ago now. Those just came out. Washington and Minnesota went in a partnership for that, and we got some funding for that. And one of the things that we're looking at is EPDs for different things. We hadn't put in that yet, but that might be something that we could look at. And I know that there's other states that are doing the climate challenge as well, and I haven't seen all of those, so that might be in there for that. But I think all of that with the EPDs and everything, it's just bringing up all of that. What is it like and how can we do it better? So yeah, for sure. So let's go ahead. If you guys have other research ideas, feel free to send them to me or any of the directors or Patty, and we'll get them collated and get them on a list and have that conversation when we meet with whoever it is on the national scene to do that. So
the preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.